Welcome back, freeze dryers. I was this many days old when I found out how big a papaya was. I decided I wanted to try freeze drying some papaya with some of the other fruit, and I figured, oh, what the heck, just order one from Walmart, get it, slice it up, put it on a tray with the apples or with the cherries or whatever. And then this football looking thing showed up, and I was completely taken aback. I had no idea. So it's going to be an adventure for me and for you as well. I had originally thought that, well, I don't know, can you peel the things? You can peel them, so yep, I'm going to go ahead and peel it. And then I'll take off or cut it up and take all the guts out, and then slice it up and put it on trays and put them in the freezer, and then tomorrow morning they will go into the freeze dryer, into the Blue Alpine, and then I'll be able to report to you whether they freeze dry well or not. But seriously, I had no idea that they were this big. Or is this abnormal? I mean, I was expecting something the size of a pear, not a football. So if I'm wrong, you're different, please just say something in the comments, enlighten me, because it was like I said, it was a big surprise. I don't think I've ever actually eaten papaya. I used to take papaya enzyme pills that I got at the health food store for help with digestion, and they had a pleasant flavor to them. They were chewables, so I'm thinking I'll probably like the way it's going to taste. Set this aside, it'll go out into the compost bin, minus the sticker. So there we got it, the big papaya. And for a big papaya, we need the big knife. So I was surprised at how easily it cut open. And then we found all these crazy little seeds. Again, this is my first interaction with a papaya, and so it's all new to me. But I figured get the seeds out of this thing, and we will get to slicing and dicing on it. I'm keeping the seeds separate from the peel. I don't want to put the seeds into the compost. Don't know that I want to be growing papaya plants outside. So get the hands rinsed off and get back to business here. Get the trays. Not sure how many trays this is going to take, but we don't want to stack it too thick on the trays because we want to get a good freeze dry on it. And so the beef starts to get cut up. First thing we got going there, I think we're doing like a 1/4 to 3/8 inch slices. Figure that's a good thickness to get an efficient dry. I originally thought this thing was going to be the size of a pear, or no bigger than a orange or a grapefruit or something. So I was really surprised when this big huge thing showed up. I mean, when I first looked at it in the bag, I showed it to Becky. I said, what did they send me, a squash? But no, it's papaya. You can see there that there's the real orange flesh. I believe that's, I probably should have let it ripen more. The yellower flesh is not quite ripe. I noticed I took a bite of a piece that I'd cut off, and the softer orange flesh was tasty. The outer stuff was well, kind of like the watermelon rind. When you get out of the pink and into the yellow or the white, it's a whole different thing. So we did the slicing for 2 trays, and I was doing the dicing for another tray or 2, and see what kind of results we're going to get from this. I know a lot of people get the papaya and they use it fresh and put it in smoothies. So I'm thinking, if the freeze-dried product doesn't come out to my liking, I can always just drop the stuff in the Ninja, powder it, and then put it into smoothies. Those covers for the trays were a real game changer. Made it so much easier to carry the stuff around, and even with liquids in the trays, you don't have any spillage. Friday morning sometime they'll be ready, and we'll pick up the video there. Thanks for showing up. We'll talk at you in a bit. So it's the next morning. We're grabbing them out of the freezer. There's going to be 4 trays of papaya and 1 tray of cherries. We were at the city market a couple weeks ago, and there was a gal hawking cherries off to one side, and I tell you, it was about half the price what you would pay at the grocery store for the same bag that you would get at the grocery store. I think we paid like $3 for a big bag of cherries, and they were good. They were good fresh, but we don't eat a lot of them, and I had never tried them before, so we loaded them up, froze them, and then put them in the freeze dryer. Initially, I put the cherries on the bottom shelf, thinking that they had the least content on them, and so the bottom shelf tends to be the slowest to dry. But then I noticed the papaya was less than the cherries, so I swapped them out, put them on the bottom, the cherries went to the top. Closed her up. She'd already been in chilling mode, so it was down at 20-some below. And here we are at the end of the drying run, about 22 hours later. Release the pressure at the drain valve. Get some bags and jars ready. And crack it open. First tray of papaya and first taste. Wasn't as flavorful as I expected. Definitely not as flavorful as it was when it was fresh. Stuff did dry well. Very brittle. Very easy to manage. But as far as freeze-dried for snacking, I don't think there's enough flavor there to make me want to do it for that purpose again. Depending on how it powders up and works in the smoothies, we might continue for that. For that. The enzymes in the papaya are supposed to be really good for your digestive system. And as you get older and everything starts to fail, anything you can do to help your digestion is a good thing. So we drop cherries in one of the smaller jars. That'll go upstairs and get snacked on over the next couple of days. And then we're going to put the papaya into the mylar, and again, it is going to get snacked on or powdered. so I'm not going to bother putting an oxygen absorber in this bag. The diced up, the chopped up papaya, it's going to go into the jars here in a minute, and that will get vacuum sealed in the jars and put up on the shelf with our storage. One of these days I'll remember the first time to face the tray to the camera so that you guys get to see what I'm doing and not look at the back of the tray liner. That piece there was a little bit thick. It looked a little tough, so I held it off to the side. Hook up our jar sealing adapter and get that going. Jar number 2. And up on the shelf they go. Clean up my mess, take stuff upstairs. So we did some snacking with the papaya slices that we freeze dried, and while they're pretty good, they're not, it wouldn't be our first choice. So, as I said, we're going to try grinding them up into a powder, and we'll use them in smoothies. So I'm afraid that these things are going to make one hell of a racket in the Ninja. So I'll warn you up front. So we'll take this upstairs and we'll put it on the shelf along with the blueberry powder, the blackberry powder, and the apple powder. So we use all 3 of those in smoothie mixes that we make. So there you go, freeze-dried papaya. Success, failure? I don't know. Kind of on the fence with this one. But it's not going to go to waste, and that's important. Guys, take responsibility for your food security. Look into a freeze dryer, look into a dehydrator, something. Get you some food on the shelf that's going to be around when you can't get out to get fresh stuff, or when you can't get out to get anything. I've got a link for the Blue Alpine people in the description. You can always call them or drop them an email, and they'll answer any questions you got. Very, very good to deal with. Very kind people. We'll leave you with that. And be well, be safe, and live long and freeze dry.